Hello, my name is Ian. Welcome to my channel, Inflightmuzik. Today, this is my first official video that I'm posting for this channel, and I'm starting a new YouTube series called Music, Myth, or Legend. Now, you might be saying to yourself, aren't myths and legends the same thing? Well, sort of. Myths are usually not based on any actual people, events, or places that ever existed, while legends, on the other hand, often are based off of someone that actually did exist, a real place, or a real event that did happen in some point in history. Now, the reason I'm doing these videos is because there's a lot of tips, tricks, and tutorials out there in the YouTube production community that are either A, entirely false, or B, partially false, but do have some truths to them. So every Monday I'm going to post a new music, myth, or legend video to help you, the music producer of the future, sort out this mess so that you can get a better handle on what you actually need to know to become better at your craft. In today's episode of Music, Myth, or Legend, we're going to go over the God scale of trap music and if it even really exists. But before we get started, I do have a little disclaimer. There absolutely is a reason to learn traditional music theory, but that's not what we're doing here. In a nutshell, music theory is the spoken and written form of music. It's how we get others to play our compositions if they can't play by ear, or vice versa. It's also how we typically learn to play an instrument from a traditional music teacher. But overall, it's not quite as important as you might think. Humans have been playing music long before there was ever traditional music theory. You have to keep in mind that music theory came after music itself. I, like many others, were self-taught, which is actually an interesting story that I'll cover in another video. But still, I decided to take a course in college covering the fundamentals of music where I did learn music theory. And there I realized that pretty much everything I taught myself was actually how music works. But traditional music theory just has different terms and jargon that are really made more for creating music notation and writing music on a piece of paper rather than actually coming up with original ideas yourself. But many do eventually figure that out from music theory. But this is why I find people that could play circles around me on the piano, but can't make original compositions themselves that people actually enjoy on a higher level. While I'm not the most technically advanced player, I know how to create any emotion that I'm looking for at any given point in time when I'm making music. And still, I encourage all of you to learn traditional theory because there's a good chance that it can enhance your ability to play emotionally and technically. But if you're just wanting to make beats, what I show you through these videos will be more than enough. Disclaimer over. So what is the God scale? Well, the God scale is a term typically used in trap music that describes a musical scale that many producers claim they're using that you're not using that make their beats sound more trap than yours. So let's break this down. A lot of these videos that you see, they'll be talking about producers like Metro Boomin or Southside and claim that these are the scales that they use to make their beats. A lot of times you'll hear words like minor, Phrygian, major, Lydian, Dorian, harmonic, exotic. Well, there's already a problem with some of those words. You'll be surprised when I tell you that some of those words aren't even scales. They're modes. And for the traditional or the modern hip-hop producer, modes are pretty much useless. As long as you know your scales, you're going to know how to make trap music. Here's a fun fact for you. A lot of the songs that you listen to, especially in the top 40, genres outside of jazz, blues, neo-soul, the stuff that you're probably not interested in making, at most consist of 7 notes. This includes everything in the top 40, pretty much pop, country, hip-hop, EDM. It's all just 7 notes. Those 7 notes are a scale. They make up the key of a song. The key is basically the overall pitch of the song. The higher the letter, the higher the pitch. A, B, C, D, E, F, G. You'll notice this in FL Studio if you use the piano roll. The higher you go up on the piano roll, the higher the pitch goes. That being said, here's fun fact number 2. You could pick virtually any modern song in Western music, in the top 40 especially, and use the same 7 notes and recreate any other song in the charts. To do that, first I need to explain to you what transposing is. If you were to take the 7 notes in the song and move them up and down together in the same amount of spaces, you're going to change the entire overall pitch of the song. By doing that, you achieve a new key. Now, this is super common for singers because not every singer is able to sing in every key. Some people have a lower voice, some people have a higher voice. But if they want to sing a specific song, they'll transpose it down or up to match their voice. But it will be the same exact song. It will be the same exact composition, just a different tone. Now here's one of the best kept secrets in hip hop. It's not really a secret, but it's not mentioned often enough. If you just take the white keys on a keyboard, you'll notice there's only 7 different white keys. Those 7 notes make up what traditional music theory call C major. Now here's where the fun starts. You'll notice there's a certain amount of spaces between those notes, separated by the black keys. Those spaces make a pattern, and that pattern is the most common pattern used in all of music, specifically modern Western music. It's basically used in every song in the top 40. So now I'm going to show you exactly what I'm talking about. Okay, here I went ahead and highlighted only the white notes. Now, if you remember that word transposing, you'll see that I will be able to move these notes all together in the same amount of spaces, up or down. If you're using FL Studio, you could use Shift up or Shift down to move these together. Every time I move these notes up or down, that's actually a brand new key. Key of A, B, C, D, E, F, G, so on and so forth. This is how singers transpose a song to match their voice. But like I said, it'll be the same exact notes, or the same exact spaces between notes. So it'll create the same exact song no matter what. You could use any of these keys to make trap music. Any of these will work for trap music. It's more about the timing of your notes, what notes you decide to play and what notes you decide not to play. Now here's why I said modes are pretty much useless for trap production or hip hop production, or really if you're just making beats, you don't need to know modes. All of these are going to translate into every mode that exists. All of these are also going to translate to every major and minor key that exists. It's not going to actually change anything by switching to a different mode. And I'll show you that right here. Scale highlighting. Let's choose one of the most popular modes is Phrygian. You'll see people talking about Phrygian all the time. Now, you'll see that my piano roll is highlighted with specific notes. Well, you remember I just clicked in the white notes originally. I'm going to be able to transpose these notes into the proper Phrygian mode, and it's going to be the same exact scale. Boom. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'd even add the 7th note. 7 notes. Man, I probably should go back and edit the video so I actually have 7 notes highlighted. But I think you get the picture here, because I'm going to be able to do this again with a different mode here. Let's go to Helpers, Scale Highlighting. Let's choose Lydian. Boom. It's the same exact thing. There we go. Yeah, I was on the wrong key there. Boom, it's the same exact thing. There we go. So yeah, I mean, it really doesn't matter what mode you choose. Modes are just a regurgitation of the same exact thing as scales. There's a reason for modes, and that's more for traditional music theory. If you're playing jazz, if you're doing the blues, especially in jazz, you're gonna use modes like crazy. Like, that's what jazz is all about. Modes are a way to break out of your scale and switch to a new scale. But overall, you're not going to be switching scales in the middle of a song in hip hop or pop or country or EDM. It's very rare. Now you also might be asking yourself, well, what about major versus minor? I heard that if you use a minor scale, it's going to be more built for trap. No, really the difference between major and minor is what chord you start your song with. It doesn't matter what scale you're in. You could play a minor chord in a major scale. It exists in every scale. Every scale is going to have your options between major and minor. within the chords itself, within the notes itself. And to prove that, I'll show you right here. Let's go to C major. And we will transpose these back to all the white keys, because C major is all the white keys. Now, there's something called a relative minor in traditional music. Every major and every minor has a relative, which basically means it has the same exact notes inside of its scale. So let's go to minor. Minor, where are you? Oh, you know what? This is really interesting. So oh, here we go. Okay. And you'll see here the natural minor, that's your basic minor. It has Aeolian highlighted. Aeolian is the mode, which is basically proving right there that modes are the same exact thing as a scale. I mean, not really the same exact thing, but it has the same notes that you're going to be using. So let's go to A, because I believe that is the relative minor of C major. And boom, what do you see there? It's the same exact notes highlighted. And like I said, every major is going to have a relative minor and vice versa. So you don't have to worry about, well, is this a minor scale or a major scale? It's not going to matter. It's going to have the same difference in spacing between the notes. So you're good. As long as you have this pattern, you're going to be able to make 90% of music that you listen to, if you're a modern music producer. So basically, in a nutshell, if you transpose these 12 times, you'll get all 12 scales. All of the major scales, all of the minor scales. Oops. And why is it 12? Because there's 12 different notes. Watch, as I go up 12 times, we'll get back to the same exact notes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. It's the same notes all over again. So there's only 12 different scales that you need to know. So, myth or legend, is there a God scale in trap music? Well, hold on. There was one scale that I mentioned earlier in the video, harmonic. Harmonic minor specifically. That's the only harmonic that exists. Harmonic minor. Now, there's something really interesting about this, especially in traditional music versus the way that I'm about to teach you. Traditional music will teach you that harmonic minor is actually 2 notes different from your traditional minor. It's been so long since I took that college course, let me tell you. Let's see here. Natural minor, yeah, I don't know how you forget that. But yeah, it's a natural minor. Harmonic minor is just 2 notes different than natural minor. But what I'm about to show you is a lot easier than what traditional music will teach you, because we're only going to change 1 note. And here's how we're going to do it. Let's go back to C major. The original, oh, I'm already on C major. All you're going to do is move this note to the middle black key. So you're taking the white note that's left of the middle black key of the 3 black notes and move it onto the middle black note. This right here is the pattern for harmonic minor. Now, why am I showing you harmonic minor? Well, guys like Metro Boomin, guys like Southside, they have used harmonic minor before. Also, in the top 40, I'd say maybe once or twice a year, you'll hear a song that actually has, that's using the harmonic minor scale. But here it is right here, guys. This is the pattern that you're going to use to hit all 12 harmonic minor keys. And just like we transpose 12 times C major, we could do it 12 times for this harmonic minor. I don't know why I keep doing that. I'm sorry. But yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. Those are all the different harmonic minors that you're ever going to use that even exist. So I would say if there really is a God scale in trap music, it's probably harmonic minor. Because one, it's more rare, so a lot of people don't use it. But two, it actually does have a darker sound. So let me show you an example of playing in the original scale that I taught you versus playing in harmonic minor. So this is what a song would sound like in the regular C major scale that I was telling you about. That's pretty dark, right? I mean, it's gonna sound dark because I'm starting with a minor chord, even though I'm playing in a major scale. But harmonic minor would sound more like this. That's moving that middle, that white note to that middle note, like I showed you in the original pattern. Let me go back to nope. Nope. There we go. Yeah. Yep, that's it. So, yeah, overall, I would say harmonic minor has a more gloomy sound to it that really lends itself pretty well to trap music. So you're going to have the ability to go darker than your regular. Versus that's taking this note and moving it up to this note. That's all you're doing. It's just a one note difference. I mean, I've said this in comments before and people will say, no, it's two notes different from minor, blah, blah, blah. Not if you're doing it the way that I taught myself. It's really just a one note difference. But yeah, that's it. I would say myth or legend. Is there a God scale in trap music? I think the legendary scale is harmonic minor. It is a scale that Metro Boomin does use. It's a scale that Southside has used. I've also heard it in a few other songs that I can't come up with on the top of my head. And also, if you take a song like X by 21 Savage or No Heart or Ric Flair Drip, those are all Metro Boomin songs, I believe. You're able to play harmonic minor with those songs, even though I'm pretty sure those songs are actually not in harmonic minor. One thing that I really like about harmonic minor, I'm able to go back and forth between playing the normal scale that I showed you, the normal pattern of notes that I showed you, and switching to a harmonic minor scale. And it will sound like it fits the song. But yeah, that's just something you got to experiment with on your own. Maybe one day I'll actually do a video showing you if I can figure out a way to get around copyright strikes and being able to play someone else's music and playing on top of their music. Either that or I'm just going to have to recompose the song for you and I'll show you what I'm talking about. But until then, I definitely recommend you experimenting with harmonic minor, because if there really is a legendary scale that you can consider a God scale in trap music, it's definitely harmonic minor. But for anyone that's telling you, oh, you got to use Phrygian or you got to use a minor scale, they honestly, they kind of know what they probably know too much. That's the problem. They probably know so much that they're not really breaking it down in the simplest terms. They're not realizing they're playing the same exact notes. So when you look at it that way, really there's only two scales that you need to know for pretty much all of Western music. If you're not playing jazz, if you're not playing blues, if you're not playing neo soul or gospel, really if you can make every hit song just using the two patterns of notes that I just showed you. I hope that helps, and I'll see you next week, next Monday, for next week's music, myth, or legend. If you enjoyed this video and want to support the channel, please feel free to subscribe and hit the notification bell so that you get notified when I post my next video. And if you have any questions or concerns about this week's music, myth, or legend, I'll definitely highlight those questions and I will answer those either in the comments section, or if it's super important and I feel like I didn't cover it enough, I'll definitely cover it in next Monday's music, myth, or legend. Thanks for subscribing, thanks for tuning in, thanks for liking, thanks for commenting. My name's Ian, this is Inflightmuzik. Peace.